This is a grade 2 mission 4 overview for Zearn Math. If you're using Eureka, it'll be the grade 2 module 4 overview. The content is the same, so it'll work for both. And we're adding and subtracting to solve. The central focus of this mission is addition and subtraction within 200. So we're starting to work with larger numbers. In fact, adding double digits plus double digits now is going to be a main part of the practice component. Adds into 3-digit and 2-digit practice as well. The progression is 2-digit plus 2-digit using various strategies, then using place value discs, then 3-digit and 2-digit using place value discs, addition then subtraction. Lesson 12 starts to use the standard algorithm. From this point forward, if you feel like you still need the physical representation, or if you feel like your kids still needed the place value discs, then lay the algorithm next to it and do both. You can also check for place value understanding as they use the standard algorithm, or the vertical method, I think maybe what they call it. And there are a couple of different ways to do it. There's some expanded versions, and then just the straight up algorithm. It doesn't really matter which you use. Both will suffice as being a functional algorithm in the end. Of course, the end goal is for them to use the standard algorithm with place value reasoning. You can also check for place value understanding without place value disc, but you have to talk to the kids. You have to ask them why they're making the decisions they make when they carry, when they borrow, as you move on down the road into higher numbers. Lesson 18 moves into more complex, adding with 2 compositions, so 2 carries. This is more complex, so make sure they've had a lot of practice, which they have 6-7 lessons, but you need a lot of rote repetition with these skills before you get to the 2 compositions. Lesson 24, subtraction with up to 2 decompositions. Now we're really upping the ante for cognitive load level, so you want to make sure they have things down to a pretty high level of fluency, and that means a lot of kind of rote practice. And there's a lot of development that comes about in the conceptual lessons. Those are good for developing number sense, but beyond that, kids just need to work a lot of problems. And I know it can get kind of boring, so you want to space them out, do it, short spurts at a time, 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time, where they're just rotely working these problems, but they need to become fluent with algorithms, with understanding, emphasis on that, but also fluency, so they can work these problems efficiently. And then it ends with subtraction across zeros, which has traditionally been a difficult skill for students to retain and be successful with, maybe not even retain, just initially be successful with. So be prepared to spend a fair amount of time on that. Core fluency is addition and subtraction with 2-digit plus and minus 2-digit numbers. So 2 digits plus 2 digits, 2 digits minus 2 digits. And add, subtract tens and ones using place value discs. I put that in there. I don't really see that as a fluency, but if you feel like your kids still need to show that physical representation to show you they understand, then that's fine, but put it next to the standard algorithm. If you think they've got it, and really for true fluency practice, you just want them to practice the algorithm, and they can use the place value discs when they're working with you to show understanding. At some point, they've just got to practice those using those algorithms. Spiral fluency, students need to be, they should be approaching automaticity, if not already there with facts to 20. If not, this mission is going to start to become very hard for them as they carry and borrow, because the cognitive elemental load is getting really high. So they need to have contributed those facts to memory. If not, let them continue to use a numbers chart. It's better than them counting on a fingers or doing something slow. If they can just look at the numbers chart and count up or something really quickly. I shouldn't say it's better than them counting on the fingers. It's not necessarily. Just whatever is the most fluent approach for them, allow them to continue to use it, but they really need to be automatic with the retrieval of the facts in order to be successful and fluent with these skills that they're working on. The foundational goal is fluency with addition and subtraction within 200. And I put in here using the standard algorithm because that is the standard. In the end, kids need to be fluent with the use of the standard algorithm. If you question them about place value understanding, it's not just rote repetition. It's not just following a recipe. I mean, all numeration kind of is that in the end, because it's the way our base 10 system wasn't just ordained by God, it was developed by a person. So there is some algorithmic aspects to it, but within that there is understanding of what they're doing. Like 9, if I'm adding a 9 and 2 in the second place from the right, I'm adding a 90 and a 20. So just continue to ask them those questions any chance you get to make sure they're focused in on that. What doesn't go away? Continue to practice facts to 20, even if you think they've got them. A couple of days a week, still work on those. Fluency with addition and subtraction within 100 using strategies. I'd begin to move away from this and focus more on the algorithms. But for kids who still don't have automatic fact retrieval, they may still be here. So we need to figure out how to make them as fluent as possible while they're still developing automaticity with fact retrieval. Special notes. Oh, did I miss one? Of course, addition and subtraction within 200 using algorithms is going to be here from now on. Clear through the 5th grade, I'm going to continue to state teachers need to work on this, although it'll turn into 1,000 by the end of your year. Special notes if you're running short on time, if you're limited on the time you can spend with kids. There are just a lot of methods covered in this section. I think there are things like the arrow way. Probably there's still some make 10, take from 10 approaches. For fluent use, I would zero in on the standard algorithm. And I think in this mission or module they call it the vertical method. It's really an algorithm. It's the standard, and one of them is the standard algorithm. I would start moving towards that in your fluency practice. Again, and I'll repeat this because I can't stress it enough, any chance you get, question kids about what they're doing regarding place value, referring to that place value chart that hopefully you have in your room somewhere on the wall so they can look at it if they need reference until they have the values of each place memorized. And for lack of just stating a dirty word here, do a lot of rote practice. I know that's sometimes frowned upon, but when you're talking about these foundational skills like addition and subtraction of multiple digits, rote practice, you just need a lot of repetition. You need immediate repetition, you need spaced repetition. So 3 months from now, I would still be telling you they need a little bit of practice with these same skills.